Hey, it's Green Bay Wacky. I want to make a point today that you're becoming a slave because of this COVID-19 coronavirus. You're a slave. The world's enslaving us. Slavery is legal. And I'll make my point, and then you tell me what you think. Don't click off this video. Don't be that quick to write me off. When I make my point, I want your head to go bing. All these liberal left-wing people that are pointing fingers and want us to comply and go along with everything while we're sold into slavery. That's what's going on right now. Let me remind you about the Israelites. They were in Egypt for a long time. The Pharaoh eventually made them slaves. That's what happened. Let me show you the definition of slaves. Let me show you what it says. What does it say? What does it mean to be a slave? All right, here's what it means to be a slave right here. Let's take a look. Definition of slavery: the practice of slaveholding, the state of a person who is a chattel of another. That's like property. But this is what's important: submission to a dominating influence. And I'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, let's take a look at this. A person who is the legal property of another and is forced to obey them. Forced to obey them. Working excessively hard. Look at this right here in the noun. A person legally owned by another and having no freedom of action or right to property. Person who is forced to work for another against his will. A person under the domination of another person or some habit or influenza, slave to television. Does that sound familiar? All right, let's take it apart. Let's pick it apart. You might say, hey, we're not the property of anyone. You know, they're just putting some, measures in place because there's a pandemic out there. They're making you close your business. You lose your business, you lose your job. And then what do they say? You know what? If you're out of work, come work at Walmart. Is that not working against your will? We've taken your business. We've taken your job. Now we've got a solution. Go take a job that you don't want because we took your other one away. Oh, you can't leave your house. I'm sorry. You can't go to work. You can't go to a party. You can't go to a barbecue. You can't go where we tell you you can't go. This is slavery, people. It's happening all over the world. We are being turned into slaves before your very eyes. And the people that are fighting tooth and nail for all this liberal left wing, go along with the system, wear the mask, do all this stuff. And remember, I'm not giving you any medical advice. Everyone going along with this, you are selling yourself into slavery permanently. Think about this. Think about how the system is working. Here's how it's working. In the United States of America, we have governors, we have mayors, okay? We have people in positions of power. The governor decides, hey, I'm locking down my state. Boom, here's an executive order. The mayor in the city says, you know what? I'm locking down my people. Boom. Does that sound like a slave owner? Like a dictator? That's what it sounds like to me. Where one person makes the call for millions of people. And you might say, no, it all goes through government. It goes through that. No, it doesn't. A lot of these orders that are coming down from these governors to lock down these states and imprison everyone in their house and take away their businesses, take away their livelihoods, force you to get a job you don't want. These are not going through the legislative houses, the proper channels. They don't even have time to meet. They're just making calls. They go along. You're being sold into slavery. The definition supports what is going on right now. Now listen to this. What about this? If you do not comply, we will fine you. We will arrest you. We will take your children. We will take your wife. Does that sound like you're a free individual? Think about that. No, we're being sold into slavery. I just lay it out as it is. That's what's going on right now. It's like the end of the world as we know it, just like REM says. You're becoming a slave to the new. I'm not even going to say it because YouTube, I'll start it with new and I'll let you finish it. All right? Slavery, legal, now. COVID-19 being used to make you a slave permanently. Do what we say, comply, or we'll mess you up, man. We'll mess you up.